What's good? It's your boy Fanon. Welcome back to the channel, subscribers. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon, and that way you can be notified when we release more videos, when we have the live streams. And I want to thank everybody that has supported the channel by watching the videos and watching the commercials that are in the videos, and the people that donate through Venmo, Patreon, and super chats during the live stream. Thank you very much. Your help really does help the channel to support the cause that it is established to support. So thank you very much. This morning, I'm going to talk about Eddie Hearn. I gotta admit, man, I have loved this negotiation soap opera that's been going on for the last 6 months, and it's just been very, very entertaining for me, man. For my line of work and doing this type of not specifically within boxing, but going back and forth and working between people, negotiating deals, and then watching this play out in my favorite sport. There's been a lot of fun. So when Eddie Hearn came out yesterday and said that he has a new improved offer for Deontay Wilder, my first thought was, I don't really believe him. I still think that they don't really want the fight, or if they do want the fight, if I wanted to give that camp the benefit of the doubt, I would say that they want the fight when they want the fight. They want the fight later down the road. Not right now. I think that they definitely have their mind set on Dillian White April 13th. And I just think that this whole negotiation thing is a kind of a PR thing, which serves a couple purposes, which is one, to keep their name in the middle of, in the mix, keep Anthony Joshua's name in the mix during the time that Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury are leading up into their fight on December 1st. And also to keep the perception of their fan base, to continue to give them reasons to believe that Anthony Joshua was not avoiding or was not afraid of Deontay Wilder, or the coward that Deontay Wilder said that Anthony Joshua is. Now, if I wanted to play devil's advocate here, and I can do that on occasion, I just don't always choose to do that. Either one or two things happen when Shelly Finkel, because Shelly Finkel has acknowledged that he's received this new offer. And he had originally said, that if your father, speaking of Barry Hearn, if your father wants to meet on October 6th or October 7th in New York, I'd be glad to. But it's a waste of time if we don't have a real offer. That is what Shelly Finkel said before. It's a direct quote of what Shelly Finkel had said a few weeks ago earlier in the week, maybe the 2nd. Again, he said, if your father wants to meet on October 6th or 7th in New York, I'd be glad to, but it's a waste of time if we don't have a real offer. Now, as of yesterday, Shelly Finkel had said, I can confirm that Hearn sent something, but I have a big fight on December 1st. That's where all my focus is. If after the fight he wants to meet or send me something, that is when I'll deal with it. I don't want any distractions now. So you can see that he said, if your father wants to meet on October 6th or October 7th in New York, I'd be glad to. But it's a waste of time if we don't have a real offer. So basically, send a real offer. If it's a real offer, then he would meet on the 6th or 7th. Here they're saying that Hearn sent something, and I know I'm paying very close attention to the words, sent something, but I'm not going to meet with you. After all that, the rest of that stuff is, if after the fight he wants to meet or send me something, that's when I'll deal with it. So you read those two things together, then you might draw the conclusion that I think it's a logical conclusion and a rational conclusion that what Eddie Hearn sent, they weren't very impressed with, or they didn't think was a real deal. And the interesting thing is that everybody knows what Deontay Wilder wants. Deontay Wilder wants 50-50. He originally wanted 60-40. And now he wants 50-50. And he wants 50-50 for several reasons. There's a lot of Anthony Joshua fans that think that there's no way anybody will ever deserve to get a 50-50 split with Anthony Joshua. And that's just not the case. It might be the case, but it's not necessarily the case. If Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury in their pay-per-view does 500,000 pay-per-views, 600,000 pay-per-views, then Deontay Wilder's fights are bigger in the U.S. than Anthony Joshua's are in the U.K. And you're as big as your last fight. The talks about what people did, 4 or 5 fights ago really don't matter because, nobody's saying about Anthony Joshua, well, how much money did you make when you fought how much money did you make, or how big was the fight that you had when you fought Dillian White? How big was the fight that you had with Eric Molina? Right? The first big fight, the first huge payday fight that Anthony Joshua had was Vladimir Klitschko. So you had Vladimir Klitschko, you had Carlos Takam, you had Joseph Parker, and Alexander Povetkin. So that's 4 fights. And I don't know if the Alexander Povetkin fight I don't really think it did what the other fights did. But let's just assume that it did. That's 4 fights ago. And out of 20 fights. So it's 16, 17 fights. I don't know if he has 20, 22 fights. Something like, 22, 23 fights, I don't recall. But whatever it is, 4 of his fights have been larger fights. The other ones, he was getting paid $2 million pounds. £1 million, £2 million, £3 million, somewhere in the same area that Deontay Wilder is making right now. So, and in boxing, you get paid for your last fight. So if Deontay Wilder does that type of number and he's able to beat Tyson Fury do that, then number one, more than likely they would have a rematch with Tyson Fury if it's a good fight. I do agree with the detractors of Deontay Wilder that say more than likely there's going to be a rematch. More than likely there's going to be a rematch clause in there. And honestly, I'm okay with it. It doesn't matter. I'm not invested in there being a Deontay Wilder Anthony Joshua fight. I'm not kicking and screaming if it doesn't happen in 2019. I'm okay with what's going on with Deontay Wilder. I'm okay with what's going on with the American heavyweight boxing scene at this moment. And it's as much as I like unification and I want the unification of the heavyweight championship, I just can't get my hopes up for a guy that is talking about an 8-fight plan and a 10-fight plan and all that. But regardless, I could understand why somebody would say that Shelly Finkel had changed his tune. But I really think that what happened is that, I think it's rational to believe that what happened is he didn't get that 50-50 offer that he said that they want. And they're going to wait until December to see what happens. Now, on the other side of this, I want to address something about the fight that happens on December 1st. Now, for AJ fans that come to the page and started talking about some real ridiculous nonsense about how Tyson Fury had won the press conferences. You don't win press conferences, man. You don't win press conferences. It's realistic that I could win a press conference against Anthony Joshua. Deontay Wilder. I could talk and talk and talk and talk and promise and crack jokes and do all that. It doesn't matter when the fight actually starts. But obviously, I'm not Tyson Fury. And Tyson Fury might be a slight underdog in this fight, but I'm telling you, man, I'm a Tyson Fury fan. And if Tyson Fury is where Tyson Fury was, this is going to be a difficult fight for Deontay Wilder. I think both these fighters are very good fighters. Both of these fighters have holes in their games. And although, I'm rooting for Deontay Wilder because I really like Deontay Wilder's story. I think that this is a win-win type of fight for Tyson Fury. But I'm not fooled here, man. This is a real fight. The way that I see it is it's a real fight. I've seen Tyson Fury look. I know that there's a lot of things about Tyson Fury and, the drugs that he was using and the time he had off and the fact that he had to lose all that weight. There are some things that are pulling him back. But at the end of the day, man, this dude is a fighter. This guy can fight. This guy has some advantages over Deontay Wilder. And Deontay Wilder has some advantages over him. And at this point, man, I'm like, let the best man win. So even to focus on an Anthony Joshua fight when you have this level of fight in front of you, I don't really think that you can do. I don't think that that's something that is very smart to do. So to the Anthony Joshua fans that actually listen to this video, number one, I am a Tyson Fury fan as well. And I think Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder beat Anthony Joshua. And I'm not necessarily somebody that dislikes Anthony Joshua. I just think that I don't think that Anthony Joshua has been behaving like a true champion for the last however many months that they've been going through this. He started behaving like a prima donna. And I don't like prima donna champions. And the fans of Anthony Joshua are treating him like he's a prima donna. My understanding is that Anthony Joshua said he didn't have anything to prove and that he's already the greatest heavyweight of his generation. What kind of talk is that when the three toughest competitors that you have in your generation, you have not fought any of them? He didn't fight Luis Ortiz, and Luis Ortiz only this Alexander Povetkin stuff. Even if you give Alexander Povetkin as a tough fighter, great. He fought Alexander Povetkin. That's it. And Alexander Povetkin's not in his generation. He's in Klitschko's. And Klitschko's not in this generation. He was the last generation. He's a 40-year-old man, 42-year-old man now. He was 41 at the time. Actually, yeah, he might probably be 42 years old now. But that's not his time. And even Alexander Povetkin is the last generation. But the three people who are still up-and-coming fighters, still dangerous fighters regardless of Luis Ortiz's age, which is listed at 38 years old, is Luis Ortiz, Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, and Tyson Fury, who's I think just turned 30 years old. You can't be the greatest fighter of your generation if you've not fought the best fighters in your generation in your weight class. You know, it's not hypothetical at heavyweight. You can get with every heavyweight. And if you're the A side, if you're the big money man, if you shit gold chips, that means you have the gold chips to pay people to get in the ring with you and fight you. And I really do believe if they thought that it was an easy fight, that this was a fight that could be like a Mike Tyson. If he was like Mike Tyson, if they believed like he was Mike Tyson, he was getting in there with Michael Spinks or Trevor Berbick, that these fights would have happened, and they would have happened back to back to back to back and cleared the deck and ruled the roost. But it's just not the case yet. So anyway, I'm hopeful that it will be. And I'm hopeful that Anthony Joshua will, kind of turn around his behavior. And it is his behavior. Saying the things that he says, behaving the way that he behaves, allowing his promoter to get away with the stuff that he's been getting away with, man. It just doesn't look like championship action. You know what I mean? Anyway, but it is what it is. And with that, I'm out. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can know when we drop the next videos. And if you don't like what I have to say, that's cool. I respect you. I would hope that you would be, can understand, man, that two grown people can have different opinions. And with that, I'm out. Peace.